Well, about 3 days ago, we captured these cattle again. Like it's the third time this year that deer have run through our fence and let them graze over a lot of this area. And there's one of our corner braces that we throw up portable out here. Learned that trick from Greg Judy. That one's braced 3 different ways because it's a full corner. But unless you get massive amounts of rain like in the spring, they usually stand there in pretty good shape. But I thought these cattle would probably be totally out of grass this morning. Since they was put in that, it's kind of a big cell, but it was a lot of just mature warm season grasses. And since they was put in there, we had 3.5 inches of rain night before last, or 2 nights ago. Had another 1/2 inch, and then last night and yesterday we got another 1/2 inch, and you can see it's July and we have mud around our mineral feeder. Now notice this mineral feeder is not at a water point. That used to be what we did, is we put mineral feeders at water points, and because that's where the cattle would come. But you can see these cattle are content. They're not bawling, they're not anxious for it to move them anywhere. So being it's a Sunday morning, I want to make church. I'm not even going to put the brake fence up. I'll come back later today or in the morning, and I've got to put a fence around another big overgrown area. And what we're doing with them right now is we're just wooling that big overgrown stuff down and stopping at a point that we would stop animal performance. When they kind of get it wooled down, we're not making them totally consume it. We're probably only taking 30%, but you know, we're using them to put the carbon on the ground. And then with all this rain in July, which is very unusual, we're going to get off of that and let it reset for probably 90 days. You know, we might not be grazing in that again until early fall stockpile, or you know, still in a growing season. But these cattle content because of the rain this morning and all that. They've got some flies on them, but they're eating garlic in their mineral, and it seems to be doing a pretty good job of fly control. We got a little bit of weepy eyes, but when they got loose out here, sometimes that seems like a train wreck, because you know, for a week at a time they were running over a lot of our ungrazed area. But that had lots of carbon, lots of growth, and you notice all that west side of this field is mostly brome. There's some warm season, like, you know, that's eastern gamma grass that's growing in there, big old clump of eastern gamma right on the other side of my reels. But you know, even I thought, oh, I've really messed up when they got out, and they were over all that area there. You know, we're talking 60 head of cattle roaming around on, you know, at least 20 acres. But what they did is they went and grazed the brome first, and because they had so much forage, they was grazing it at night and mostly just kind of topped it and walked over it, very selective. We're getting ready to put bulls with these heifers to have May 1st calves. So this is July 22nd, I think, or no, 20th. So we got about another week and we're going to put bulls with them. But we're basically flushing. What they would do in a feedlot environment is put very high levels of nutrition in, and that kind of helps flush the eggs and helps with fertility rate. So we're doing that in a grass environment world, and by them getting out like that, they really was good to themselves. You come on around here where I was doing the control grazing, you notice the more brown tint to that versus where they just grazed and they left it green. So maybe they're teaching us something today. Maybe, you know, Greg always says we just overgraze our pastures is our biggest problem. We should just move them faster and faster and faster. Sometimes that does just create a world of fescue. I had a little more impact on some of our fescue pastures earlier, and they've got red clover just abundant in them because I opened the sward up enough to let the clover come through. But it's going to be interesting to see. I may still go over that lightly, but where they just topped that brome, but I probably won't. I'm probably just gonna go ahead and bring them back over ground that we grazed early. I mean, this is almost August, and we started grazing these heifers here in April. So we're talking April, May, June. We got pastures that's had going almost 120 days of rest, 90 to 120 days of rest. So those pastures need to probably be come back and graze them while we're doing our 40-day breeding season. So that will give them very high nutrition while we actually have the bulls with them. So I just want you to listen here at Natural Grandma. I'm gonna be quiet for the rest of this video. Wish you was having this great a day. I know the cattle's all up in a bunch this morning because of the rain we had early this morning. The flies are biting, but they're showing you how they use this flap on this mineral feeder to get in what they want. Now that little heifer will not be exposed to bulls. She's a fall calf, an October born calf, so there's 20 of them that will be pulled out and they won't go to bulls. But she's showing you how they use these mineral feeders to get in and get what they want. There's 3 compartments in there, and we have a little bit of different mineral. We have C90, and we have our mineral with the salt in it, and then we also have just straight salt in there, the Kansas non-treated. So, but even though these cattle are miserable and in a bunch this morning, I want you to just listen to the birds that are out here in this meadow. Listen to the sounds.